So we've had up to 3 nights of protests and riots in Kenosha after the Jacob Blake shooting. And this past night was just absolutely insane. Violence broke out. 2 people dead, 1 injured, I think. And I heard about this and looked into it. And my initial research into the subject showed that, everyone was saying this white supremacist went down there to the crowds of Black Lives Matter protesters and just indiscriminately started killing people, or was there, this young white kid was there to kill black protesters. So I was like, this is insane. That's crazy. So I went to look into it more, and holy crap, what a tangled story this is. So still, it's terrible and awful, but there's so much more involved than what people are saying. So first off, just a generic article here from CNN on the subject. They say, a 17-year-old Illinois resident connected to an overnight shooting during a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, was taken into custody Wednesday morning, according to police. The Wisconsin authorities issued an arrest, charged Kyle Rittenhouse with first-degree intentional homicide. Antioch police said he is in the custody of Lake County Judicial System pending an extradition hearing, transfer him from Illinois to Wisconsin. Antioch is located about 15-20 miles from Kenosha. Okay. So, first off, let me say this. He's 17 years old, below the age at which he should, he is allowed to, carry a firearm. But also, he shouldn't have put himself out here in these streets. So, I just want to start off with that so we're clear that, he shouldn't have been there and he shouldn't have had a gun in the first place. That's our first mistake. But if you go on Twitter, the great place of Twitter, you have people, here's like Beto O'Rourke saying, nothing random about the murders in Kenosha. You don't get a white 17-year-old killing protesters with an AR-15 without the president first vilifying protesters. A gun lobby cowed Congress into allowing the sale of weapons of war, and racism stoked by Trump. So calling this shooting intentional and racist. Another celebrity here saying that he is down there fulfilling a gun cult fantasy of hunting black people. Here we go. Being sarcastic here, we appreciate you guys, we really do. Kenosha Police Department to a group of armed white vigilantes, one of whom murdered 2 protesters shortly after Kenosha PD expressed their appreciation. There's a long history of cooperation between police and white supremacists. Okay, so as you can see, the narrative going on is that this kid is a white supremacist, and he is down there to kill black people. Okay. Again, what this kid did and him being there and all of that, wrong, and there's so many things that have gone wrong in the scenario. Let's keep that here for a second. I'm acknowledging that. But I also want to acknowledge that framing him as a white supremacist that wanted to go down there and kill a bunch of black people is also wrong. And I want to get to, on Twitter here, Sam Parker. So he did a lot of digging from all the video footage and went through all the details of what happened that night. And there's multiple videos, and you can come check them out here on his Twitter. I can't play them on this YouTube channel, or I will get banned like that, because they are very violent and very graphic. So if you are comfortable with that kind of thing and you want to see it for yourself, go to his Twitter thread here, posted around 12 hours ago, I think. And you can go through that. But I want to go through and kind of explain what he goes over here in a manner for you guys to kind of get the gist of what happened. So we have multiple videos of what's happening. There's essentially 2 separate shootings. And let me get down here. They revolve around this kid. And this is the 17-year-old that is in question. So we are able to identify him because of his clothes. So the first shooting that takes place, actually, the guy that's shot in the head is one of the Antifa, at least looks like Antifa, but first off, he is white, I will clarify, and he is, causing trouble, stirring up trouble, saying all kinds of different things that those people do at the protest. Second, I want to point out that this kid is part of what appears to be, or they call themselves a libertarian militia. And you can identify all these guys here with this guy. They're grouped up. And later on, this group goes up to the Black Lives Matter protesters and says, we're there to protect you and the property. So this is where it gets really confusing and twisted. a lot of people are assuming that it's all one big group down there protesting. It's not. You have Black Lives Matter, you have Antifa, and you also have this libertarian militia, and then God knows what else down there. But these are the three ones we're looking at in this scenario. So this libertarian militia that is down there, if you watch this one video here I'm hovering over, they're talking about we're here to be with you guys and protect you guys, talking to Black Lives Matter. The people that were shot were Antifa rioters. And if it helps with regards to the story, those guys were white. At least two of the people. I couldn't quite see the third person in the video. Not sure who he was because people were jumping on the kid in the second shooting. We'll get to that in a second. So that's the scenario we have set up here. So in the first video of the shooting, there's a business and we see a couple different angles. The kid with the gun is over near it and something got stirred up. And this is where we are missing information, and this is crucial to what happened. Again, kid shouldn't have been out there, shouldn't have had the gun, all that. But he was. So he's out there. We see people running at his direction, throwing stuff at him, and then I don't know if he panics or what happens. This is where it gets lost. But he ends up shooting the one guy in the head, and that's one of the guys that died. So then he calls 911 on his phone, the kid that shot the guy and killed him, and says, I just killed someone, tells him, I guess, the locate, and runs off. Well, as he's running away, people start chasing him, saying, look, there's the shooter, let's get him. So people swarm him, run up to him with a skateboard, someone tries to tackle him, and as you can see in maybe like the third or fourth video, or no, maybe it's the first one, but one of the guys rushing him has a handgun in the back of his pants and pulls it out as he runs up. So another armed person, I don't know if they're part of the Antifa group or what, but it's the white guy that actually got his arm shot, starts rushing him with a handgun. Well, the kid retaliates and shoots back at that guy. Another guy tackles him and he shoots that guy to get him off him. So the guy that rushes him with the gun, I believe, is the one that lived and is just severely injured. And then I assume the only other one to die was the one that was shot in what appears to be the torso that tried to tackle the kid or jump on the kid. So then the kid runs off and ends up, I think, turning himself in. I don't want to show any of the graphic stuff there, really. So, yeah, that is the crazy story of what happened. And I want to show you all that because on Twitter and everything, and a lot of the news sources too, it's being framed as this, and you could see it coming, right? You knew this was going to happen the moment you saw the headline. It's being framed as some crazy white supremacist going down there hunting and shooting black people, and at least two verifiably, and maybe even the third I couldn't see, were white. So he's not down there hunting black people. He's part of the group that aligned himself with Black Lives Matter, and they're fighting against Antifa, and it's just a freaking mess. All that to say, this is just a violent mess that we are going to continue to see more things like that with all these tensions being flared up, and it's one thing after the other, right? When you have a large portion of or at least maybe not even a large portion, but a loud portion of the population looking at these protests and then the riots and saying, well, no, it's all peaceful. It's pretty much peaceful. Most of it's peaceful. It's not anyone's fault that it turns into riots. You have a large portion of the population that looks at that and goes, that's not what the heck I'm seeing. I'm seeing violence break out. I'm seeing people's businesses being destroyed, homes destroyed. This entire car lot was burned down. This furniture store was burned down. I'm going to go out here and protect these businesses. Now, a 17-year-old kid grabbing a gun and going out, that probably wasn't smart. He shouldn't have done that. That's not smart for him. But at the same time, what else is going through his head? Why does he think he needs to go out? We're not being honest about everything that's going on, and that's putting ideas into people's heads to go out and do the stupidest crap possible. Same thing with the shootings that start the protests, or the killings that start the protest. if we can't honestly analyze a situation like the killing, or not the killing, like the police shooting of Jacob Blake, if we can't honestly analyze that and let them do the investigation and see what was going on there, then it's going to lead to this kind of stuff. It just snowballs out of control before the investigation into what happened is even done, because people think they know what happened based on a 23-second video we have from a window across the freaking street. And here's what happens. These tensions keep building up. People keep continuing to, dishonestly talk about these subjects, especially in the news. Are you kidding me? These things are not peaceful. And you know what? It's people on both sides do lie and twist and bend things to make it fit a certain thing. And it's like, no one can take the step to say, let's honestly look at this. It's people want to keep it getting more and more polarized and spread farther and farther apart to the point where we have this right here. This is awful. You have 2 people dead. You have a guy that had his arm half blown off. It was, like I said, if you can handle that kind of stuff and watch the videos, it'll make your skin crawl hearing the screams of some of the people who've been shot, and it's awful. No one needs to be dying out here. And this isn't just in Kenosha. We've had people dying all over the place in these riots, and it's insane. But you know what? This one all of a sudden got a buttload of attention compared to some of the deaths in the other riots. I saw a little bit of stuff on the guy who was beat to death defending his store, or the retired police officer who was shot and killed defending a store. You don't see a whole lot on them. But the moment that a young white male is involved in a shooting in an area where there's a Black Lives Matter protest, the news media swarms, and people jump online and say, look at this white supremacist, look what he did, look at the racism in our country. He was there aligned with the Black Lives Matter protests, at least from what video evidence we have so far. Now, again, more information can always come out and things can change, and it could turn out that, maybe all these organizations were right and he was a white supremacist down there, and we have it wrong based on what evidence we have. But that's not the conclusion you come to based on what we have right now. So yes, you got to keep an open mind that it could be something else, but based on all the video footage we have right now, that's not what was going on. And based on the people who were shot and even killed here, that's not what was going on. But that's the inference that they want to give you, is that, and you notice it doesn't say who he shot and killed. It's that a white man, or a white young man, was down there and shot protesters. Well, what does that lead you to in your mind? You're thinking Black Lives Matter protesters, and they say he's a white man. What is this? They're trying to steer you in a very clear direction without actually saying it. And they even go on to say he's a white supremacist or he is a racist. So that would indicate to you the connections you're supposed to make in your mind through that are that he is down there hunting and killing black people, when that is not the case, and that is not what we have. But it kills me that, that's probably the wrong choice of words, that people just can't be honest about this kind of situation, what's going on. Again, not justifying what the kid did, not justifying anything about that kid with his gun out there and what he did. It sounds to me like a whole lot of people were in the wrong down there. It sounds to me like the kid was in the wrong for he put himself in a situation. From both instances, it looked like he was panicked and scared that he was going to get attacked and die, and just started shooting, which, again, that's not justifiable. That's just stupid, but it doesn't represent that he's a white supremacist down there to kill people. And also, too, you have Antifa members at all these places attacking businesses, burning things down, attacking people as well, attacking this kid, who are also in the wrong. So you have both parties there in the wrong. You have this entire militia that's aligning themselves with Black Lives Matter to fight against Antifa. 3 violent groups all in one place playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. We'll see more of this. I'm sure now there's an investigation into that. I mean, we're going to be so chock full of investigations in Kenosha that I don't know when things are going to get done there. But things have gotten progressively more and more violent. It's not slowing down. And until people are honest and can sit down and have conversations about what is really going on and the facts of the matter, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So that's pretty much all I have on what happened down there right now. Again, like I said, more could come out, and this story I've told you could completely be proven false. Maybe the videos we had pieced together a false story, so keep that in mind. Continue to check on this. I'll try to update it if something new comes out and we get more information on it. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you'll leave a like and subscribe, it helps with the algorithm, get the videos rolling out there, and you'll be notified when we get new ones. Other than that, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.